Hey man, welcome back.
Hey guys, glad you can join LeBuck'sRing. Today will be much more fun because we are going to create all the necessary ground passes. Then we will add one more asset to the scene, the leaves. So let's dive right into this episode. Since it's a rainy scene, we want the impression that the water on the ground is moving. We will do that using an animated noise. Let's create the noise first. Type fast and choose the fast noise. View it.
What's in that there grog anyways?
So the first thing we want to do now is go to the image tab and make sure it has the right resolution. I chose the same resolution as the ground texture, 3008 by 2000. And set the bit depth to float 16. Go back to the noise tab and check discontinuous. For the details, choose 6. For the scale, choose 80. Now since we want this to be animated, we're gonna set those two values here. Set the CV to 0.6923, and this is actually the more important one. Let's set this to 0.2047. This will actually animate the noise. So let's play this and you should be seeing some animation going on. Now we want to use this as a bump map. So append a create bump map, toggle off the navigator and select the create bump map node. Then choose float 16. I will leave the settings for now because I want to show you how it looks in a default state. After the create bump map, you need a bump map node in order to tell Fusion that this is going to be a bump map.
There's a confusion on the terminology of bump mapping, so be careful when people tell you something. In Fusion, we have 3 kinds of bump mappings. One is the height map, a grayscale image that you might be familiar with if you're coming from 3D. Then there's the bump map, which is actually what Fusion's Create Bump Map tool gives you. And although it looks like a normal map, it is actually a bump map. And finally there's the normal map, the one that the renderer provides you in the normal channel. Now be careful when people tell you something about bump mapping.
Don't forget to switch the source to bump map. Then drop in a reflect material and drop in a replace material as well. Hook in our objects and let's also pipe in the reflect material. If you view this now, you will see that everything is white. This is because we haven't assigned anything to the material yet. We can go ahead and start applying a color. For that, we use a background tool, and since we only need a color information, we can reduce the resolution to 128 by 128 just for the performance and switch to float 16. Now, if you hook this into the material, it will be automatically assigned to the background slot. Alternatively, if you press Alt while hooking in a node, once you release it, you will get this list where you can choose from all available target slots. Modify with perturb. Swing over to the modifier tab and open the second perturb modifier. Okay guys, more values, but these are the last ones. So for the value, use 5.1923. Random seed is 12554. For the strength, use 31 8.619. For the wobble bubble, use use the value of 8.0476. And finally, the speed. Set it to 9.9523. Now, this looks like raindrops are hitting this leaf. Awesome. Now it's time to see how it looks in our tech pass scene. But let's not forget to detach it from the ground scene first.
Step out of line, and I'll... What? Oh, that's done!
So, view the renderer and let's switch to the position channel.
You're telling me, take a whole row.
See, we are slowly putting our scene together. Now for the tech passes, I recommend, of course depending on your machine's specs, to use double resolution. And the reason for that I will show you later. For now I will leave it just to show you what kind of problems we will encounter. Next and final pass, guys, the normal, or I should call it bump normal pass. Now don't confuse this with the normal pass we get from our output channels here. Rather, I map our ground normal map onto the ground object and render it straight out. Just so you understand, if you compare this with our regular normal pass, you can see we only have object normals. But we want the bump information. Clear the second viewer and let's see how we do this. What we need, of course, yes, you guessed it right, is a copy of a renderer. So paste it over, drop in a replace material, and now all you have to do is get your scene, hook it into a replace material, and we don't even need a material now. So just hook the normal map straight into the replace material. View it. Great. This is what we were looking for.
Hey, this is almost like treasure hunting.
That's some purple booty right there.
Okay, before we conclude this episode, let's talk performance. If you look closely, you can see that I'm not going from one replace material to another, but rather underneath it. Simply because it's faster. If you would feed one replace with the other replace and so on and so forth, it will still process something and eat performance.
Hey buddy, you forgot to connect the replace to the renderer.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody is perfect, but as long as you're a pirate, it doesn't matter.
Okay guys, with that said, this concludes the second episode of LeBuck'sRing. My name is Vito and I'm gonna see you soon. Until then, enjoy what you're doing. See ya.
Wanna say yo ho ho, yo ho ho.